Anxiety! Anxiety. Something that a lot of people struggle with, yet no one seems to talk about because they are embarrassed about it for some reason, especially as creative types. So I wanted to put together a little video kind of talking about my experiences with anxiety and the things that I have learned along the road of trying to somehow control it, some way to stop it from controlling my life, really. It's taken away a lot of the joy that I had when it comes to doing anything creative. I'm always really jealous when I read about people on Facebook and how they just feel so much excitement about the project that they're about to do. And it's something that I've always wanted to feel, but whenever I'm doing a project I just get this huge sense of anxiety that can be an absolute nightmare. It can feel like you are just in hell. Your body and your mind are just completely battling against wanting to do this thing. Like your heart wants to do it, but your brain is like, oh no, all of these things can fuck up. You can embarrass yourself, you can let people down. What if you forget your lines? What if you can't get emotionally invested enough to do the scene? What if all of these millions of things that could potentially go wrong is where my mind would focus instead of the joy that I feel when I've done a really good performance, or I feel I've done a really good performance. And it was about a year and a half ago when I got to the point where it was at its worst. I was going away to do a really small part in a feature film, and it was a really emotional scene. And I just felt filled with anxiety for days before it. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up in the middle of the night out of breath, and I was having weird dreams, and I was tossing and turning all night. I couldn't eat. I couldn't stomach big meals, and I felt like I was on the edge of throwing up the whole time. I had really low energy. I just really wanted to get under my blanket and hide and not do this awesome thing. And it got to the point where I was thinking, why am I putting myself through this? I don't have to do this thing. Why would I put myself through all of this emotional trauma when I don't have to? But I know that it's something that I have huge passion for, and it's something that I really want to be doing. If I can just get rid of this anxiety, or at least get to the point where I can use it to my advantage and not have it suck all of the joy out of doing it. I would always want to get to the end of filming so that I'd know that I did an okay performance, and there wasn't any huge disasters, and I was on my way home knowing that it was okay. And I would want to get to that point and skip the experience of filming as it is, which I didn't want, which I don't want. I want to enjoy every moment. I want to enjoy being on set with great people and being creative and all working together as a team. That's what I want, and that's something that I know I can get to if I can learn to control my own mind. And it's something that most people struggle with, creative or not. Not many people feel like there's a choice of being able to control their mind, of being able to control their thoughts, and you totally can. Because I know over the last maybe year and a half since starting the mindfulness course that there is a choice. With practice you can control your thoughts, and it's really important to know that your thoughts aren't you. Your thoughts are just, it's kind of your lizard brain trying to protect you from possible harm from past experiences repeating themselves, which is kind of what anxiety is all about, is you thinking into the future about things that have happened already or things that could happen, and wanting to protect you, wanting to save you from any harm, save you from any upset. So in a way, it's, you know, it's your friend. It's trying to help, but in the most fucked up kind of way. And I think one of the turning points for me was hearing an NLP practitioner say how your subconscious can't tell the difference between the thoughts that you're thinking and what's happening for real. So if you're thinking about the worst case scenarios, your subconscious thinks that that's happening for real and sends all of those fight or flight chemicals into the body to try and help you get through this event that isn't actually happening. You're just thinking about it. But when I heard that, that makes so much sense. That is what's happening. I was thinking about the worst case scenarios and my body was reacting. And when your body reacts, you start to think more about this feeling, and it's just like this vicious circle that just gets worse and worse, and you get deeper and deeper into this hugely anxious kind of mood. And something that I learned from the mindfulness practice was that the mind always has to be doing something. You know, it can never be completely clear. Otherwise, you know, you're dead. That's what happens when you die. Your mind is just boop, nothing. So if you want to stop thinking about all of those thoughts, the best way to do it is to focus on your senses. You're not clearing your mind of thoughts. What you're doing is thinking about something else. It's like if I say, don't focus on a baby elephant on skates. Don't focus on a baby elephant on skates. Don't focus on that. Don't even think about that baby elephant on the skates. Don't think about that. Your mind is going to think about that. And if you don't want to think about that, think about something else. Distract your mind. So you focus on your breathing. You focus on the wind on your skin. You focus on what your clothes feel like on your body, what you can smell, what you can see, what you can hear. And essentially that's really living. If you're living in your mind and you're thinking about all the things you want to do in the future, and you're thinking about all the things that have happened in your past, and you're not engaging with the environment that's around you, you're not in your body, you're not really living. Because the past doesn't exist anymore. The past is nothing. All it is information stored in your mind. And the future doesn't exist because that hasn't happened yet. The only thing that actually exists is right here, right now. The things that I can see, the things that I can feel, the things that I can smell. That's where life is. And if you're not engaged in the moment, then you're kind of throwing your life away. Yeah, think about the future, think about things that you want to achieve, things about what you want to do with your life, but always bring yourself back to the present moment and the beauty of the present moment and things to be thankful for. You know, tomorrow you could be in some horrific accident and lose limbs. You could be disfigured. And that happens to a lot of people. You never think it's going to happen to us, but it could. So be thankful for the things that you have right now, because they can be taken from you at any moment. And then you'll spend your time thinking, oh my God, I was never happy with what I already had. All of these things that I have, I was never happy with. I'm healthy. You know, I can hear a loved one laugh. I can hug them. Those things can be taken away. It's horrible to think about it. But realizing and being thankful for the now is the best way of really living. Otherwise, you're not really living. If you're not thankful and you're always thinking about the things that you want, all the things that you don't have, all the things that everyone else has, the careers that everyone else has, they're not you. You know, you're you. And all you have is this right now. And there's so many people that would be envious of what you have right now. There's people that's in a hospital bed right as you're listening to this, completely sick. All of their organs are shutting down. They know that they'll never leave the hospital bed again. That's people's reality right now. So be thankful that you can just go outside and walk through the park or go and get a coffee with friends. That's your reality right now. And that isn't the case for millions of people. So a lot of people would look at your life and be genuinely envious of what you have. So be thankful. Always aim for more, but be thankful for what you have. And you'll experience a much better day-to-day life. Realizing that thoughts aren't you. Thoughts are just your kind of neurotic mind trying to keep you from harm. You're not your thoughts. With practice, you can become the person where you kind of step back and you observe your thoughts, and oh, that's an interesting thing that I just thought. I don't necessarily have to believe it. I don't necessarily have to follow where that thought wants me to go, which is usually into some kind of protective despair. You know, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're this, you're that. All it is thoughts. And if you recognize that and don't engage with it and don't connect with it, you can just as easily replace those thoughts with something positive and engage with that. If you have a moment of thinking, oh man, I really feel unattractive today. You're so ugly, you're worthless. Those are just thoughts, it's not reality. You can easily think, oh yeah, actually, you know, look at what I have. Look at these hands. I'm thankful for these hands. Look in the mirror. I'm thankful that I can see myself in the mirror. It's just thoughts. And how you choose to engage with the thoughts that go on in your mind. It's all a choice. You can choose to see the positive in anything just as easily as you can think of the negative. The mind naturally wants to go to the negative, again, to protect a lot of the time. But you can switch it and think, oh, actually, what is the positive in this thing? And if you can train your mind to see the positive and notice that a thought is just a thought, you'll start to live a much more sane and happy, relaxed life. You can't stop these thoughts coming. These thoughts are always going to be there, but you choose whether to engage with those thoughts or not. And that's something that I've been practicing a lot for the last year and a half, and something that a lot of people kind of practice through meditation. I don't practice meditation as much as just being mindful, which is kind of awake meditation. You know, you're engaging with things around you. I've gone into all that anyway. So yeah, you are not your thoughts. You can choose what thoughts you have. You can't choose what thoughts come in, but you can choose what thoughts you follow, and you can choose what thoughts you engage with and which thoughts you want to affect your body. It's like eating. If you want to have a healthy body, then you'll eat healthy things, wholesome salads and, you know, healthy things. But if you eat burgers and chips and unhealthy foods all day, it's obviously going to impact your body in a negative way. And it's exactly the same with thoughts. If you want to have a healthy mind, you focus more on the positive thoughts. And it is practice, thinking about the positive thoughts, replacing those negatives with the positives. But if you focus on all the negatives, then that is going to feed into a negative mind, which feeds into a negative body. And all of these things are connected. I think that's probably enough because I've been rattling on for a while. But yes, you are in control. With practice, you can control your mind, you can control your thoughts, and have the life that you want to live.